I'm curious as to if you could share a memorable case that was particularly challenging but still resolved.
Sure. I mean, as I said, I'd done some restorative justice work with youth, and one of the cases that really stuck out with me had to do with a newcomer youth and his family. And his family were very devout in their faith, and their faith was such that Friday night to Saturday night was the Sabbath for them. Now this youth, being in Canada, hanging out with Canadians, his friends would tend to go out together on Friday nights.
Right.
So he was being pulled in two directions. So sometimes he was going out with his friends and then coming home kind of late, and his parents were feeling like he was disrespecting them, was disrespecting their faith by doing that. So at a certain point, they started locking him out. Well, ultimately, he got really frustrated being locked out and broke the door down. So the parents, thinking they were going to teach him a lesson, called the police. The police decided to charge him, even though really what the parents wanted was for the police to just admonish him and tell him to behave and respect them.
Mm-hmm.
So it ended up in the courts. The courts referred it for mediation. So first of all of what I described came out. But the parents were still very much of this attitude of, you need to be going to church, you need to be, respecting the faith and participating in the faith.
Mm-hmm.
And he was saying, I'm not turning away from the faith. I'll go on Saturday, but, Friday. Ultimately, we managed to get them to agree to allow him to go maybe alternating weeks. They kept saying, why can't you just go out with your friends on Saturday night? What my co-mediator realized, Saturday night was date night. So his friends weren't available to go out Saturday night.
Right. That makes a lot of sense.
Right. So it was that piece of, how do we help merge what was going on in Canadian society with the newcomer needs to still respect the faith.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately, they were able to come to an agreement on, so maybe more like every other week. And, he would also agree to take up a couple of other roles within the church or something. And, based on that, they were willing to understand that his need for friendship with peers was also very important, and he should be able to spend some time with his friends when they were available.
Yeah. I'm glad that got resolved, because a lot of times, especially with families, it can be very complicated, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. But getting them to take that time to really hear each other, right? And I
Yeah.
mean, the parents really wanted him back. He wasn't, because of the charges that were sitting, he wasn't able to stay at home. So he was staying with another family, I think, from the same church or something. I can't remember now. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so there were a lot of motivators there.
If you want to hear more stories, don't forget to subscribe, comment, and like. To support more youth by youth-led projects, visit us at youthspeak.ca, where you can donate and spread youth mental health awareness.
YouthSpeak Charity. Speak, inspire, change.